Are we ready to go?
Yes, interesting choice of music, but yeah, I think we're ready to. I think we're ready to launch.
Sweet.
Yeah, just getting caught up real quick. I saw that FaZe Banks just posted about Karafuru, or Karafuru, however you pronounce it. I just hate messing up people's project names. I say Karafuru, kind of just blend in the last sound. But yeah, so let's just touch base on, where we were just at, where we're at now, and where we're headed. For those of you who, clocking in, hey, this is us talking. This everything's recorded. So if you want to listen to any of the past spaces, you can find them from the tweets, the last past spaces, they're recorded there, or we also have a YouTube channel, ACYC Capital. Cool. So going to touch on market outlook, but first wanted to bring in the fact that we're going to be bringing on a new trader. For now, we'll call him Chef. Others may know him as 8-year-old with an Amex or Arnold. He'll be specifically trading on the Solana chain. As we've always said, I know nothing about trading on Solana. I know about trading. I've never traded on Solana. I've never traded on Binance Smart Chain or anything like that. And so we're bringing on people who do know how to trade on those chains. And not that it's anything difficult. It's just when you have so many choices. So when I, as a trader myself, if I have to choose between trading on Uniswap, Binance, OpenSea, and a million other platforms, it becomes information overload. And, at that point, start making bad decisions. So we're bringing on somebody who does know how to trade on that chain and does know what to look for. And so that's super exciting that we have somebody else covering that. We're also looking at a couple other chains as well, looking at, the Metis or Midas or Metis or however it's pronounced, their whole ecosystem. It's getting a lot of attention, and a lot of things are, to the point where they're being accumulated at the low prices. I've personally been doing research there, and I see a lot of things that have gone from 500K market caps to 10 mil market caps, but they just don't have enough liquidity to go any higher. And so at some point, once whales are done accumulating, those should be mooning. So we're going to get somebody on that as well and allocate funds in that direction as well. Cool. So as we've talked about in previous spaces, pretty much nailed it to a T. Said about a month ago, maybe, or we've been screaming it for the last 4 weeks of spaces that meme season's approaching. And meme season's here. It's not in full force, but there are, the markings on the wall of meme season. We have tokens like CHEDDA, like cheddar cheese, that have gone from virtually a $7,000 market cap to a 1.8 bill market cap. So, absolutely unheard of gains in the span of the last month. Did we buy CHEDDA early? No. Did we see CHEDDA early? Yes. But it was extremely degen, to say the least. The website's not the greatest at all. The roadmap's very unclear, and I could not find any early supporters. But what we did do was we watched the chart for days and days and days and waited for a sizable dip. And we posted about it on the ACYC Twitter. And we had our liquidity ready. And when it dipped, we put in about 60 Ethereum. And in a matter of 7 minutes, we bought we were actually the lowest buy of the dip. And 7 minutes later, we sold it for 16 Ethereum profit, which is roughly about $50,000. So $50,000 in 7 minutes. So even if you don't catch the way up all the way, you can always play the dips. You just have to be patient. And maybe you were eating dinner, maybe you were asleep during that, maybe you didn't catch the cheddar dip, but we were watching, we were monitoring, and we were there and ready. So that's exciting. Also, we said about a week or two ago, I think it was, if not the last space, then the space before, we mentioned that we were scaling out of NFTs. Are we completely out of NFTs? Definitely not. We still have some, but if you've looked at our Discord channel that shows the NFTs we sold, we are literally, we were fire sailing about a week ago. Not fire sailing, but we were cutting down the floors. We liquidated a lot of our NFTs, and pretty much every NFT we've sold, we could buy back for probably about, I would say most of them are about down 30%, maybe 40. Some of them are down far more, far greater. But we're not buying back in. Sometimes with NFTs, they're so liquid that you don't buy the dips.
Sweet. Hey, yeah, I think
Yo,
Twitter just yeah, yeah.
fudge. What was the last thing I said?
We were just touching into how we have sold all of our NFTs and how we are focusing on flips. I think we should give everyone like a minute or two to pile in, and then we'll pick back up.
Oh, damn, dude. I think, oh,
You lose your train of thought there.
no, I didn't. I did not lose my train of thought. I think I just talked to myself for like 8 minutes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
talked to myself for literally 8 minutes, and then I think I checked to see like why isn't anybody replying. Oh, god dang.
Yeah, it cut off probably pretty early into what you were saying.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
definitely.
been
If that's where we were at, did I even mention the board ape?
no, we didn't get to
Okay,
the
then
board
yeah.
ape, but you know what this does give us an opportunity to do at the top of this. You know, as we said, we are taking on a trader for Sol. Uh, Many of you know him, as Nate said, uh, Arnold Poernomo. It's hard for me, but he's very talented. We've known him for a long time. He's very well known in the space. Uh, and I figure actually at the top of this, maybe we could have him speak a little bit, speak to joining the ACYC team. If you're there, Chef.
Hey guys.
Hey, Chef.
Pretty excited to join in ACYC, and yeah, we've known each other quite some times now, and I think I was the one been talking, and also I think you guys have the same idea too as well. Um, to grow the treasury, you guys should look into more into Solana, and I'm very excited. There's a lot of good projects in Solana, and I think it's good to as well for a treasury and ACYC to cross chain and to be one of the biggest as well in the future, right? And I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And so he's sort of touching on, you know, the whole principle of ACYC we always talk about is, you know, risk management and diversified investments. And as Nate said before we got pulled from the last spaces, you know, he and I are not native to Sol or Binance or anything. So bringing people who are more familiar with that, that's always the goal of ACYC is how can we get people who are experienced and more knowledgeable than us involved and on the team. So yeah, we'll be having Chef start trading pretty soon here. Just have to get the infrastructure set up to accommodate that. But yeah, very excited. I think yeah. So Nate, I mean, if you want to take it again, maybe not from the top, but semi sorta. Let's dig into it.
Yo, everybody. Okay, so if it sounds like I'm going to talk really fast, it's because I just had this entire conversation to myself, I guess, because we got rugged. So I'll talk a little bit fast, but make it concise, and mention everything that I just touched over regarding our NFTs. So as Bogart said, and as we said before, we got rugged. Um, we've been scaling out of NFTs, and when I say scaling, I mean like listing everything near trade floors, and if they don't sell, listing them lower. The only things we're holding right now are the things that we believe will rebound, and that we don't need complete liquidity, but we do want to make sure that we're not overexposed to NFTs as they're going down and having their little e-liquid race to the bottom. And then I wanted to pat our own backs a little bit because the reason that you want exposure to a fund like this is because we have experience in this space. So everybody, if you're an NFT person, probably heard of Asuna or Asana. We bought some Asunas or Asanas, I believe, from like zero point 0.6 ETH to 1.3, somewhere around there. And we sold most all of ours, actually every single one of them, about 2 to 2.3, some of them at 1.8. At one point, they went to 3.4 ETH. And the reason that we sold them all pre-reveal was because of leveraging what we've seen in this space recently. We had Killer Girlfriends, which is a similar like anime profile picture collection. It went to, I don't know how high, I think like 3 Ethereum before reveal, and then after the reveal it went to 0.4. Same thing with Zipsy, another female-based avatar project. It went to 6 Ethereum pre-reveal, and then post-reveal it went down to about 1.2 within a day or two. And so it just made the most sense to sell these as soon as before reveal, because that's kind of what the meta is at the moment. Because people, I think people are at the stage where they're minting stuff just to see if they can make money. And then it reveals and they're like, oh, wait, I wouldn't actually rock this as a profile picture. But we picked and said that we were going to go super hard on Karafuru, and that's exactly what we did. We bought about 20 something of them, ranging from 2.8 Ethereum to 4.5. Our average buy was 3.8 Ethereum, and our goal was to get a legendary. 1 out of 60 were legendary, and the floor for that is about 30 right now. We didn't get a legendary, but that's okay, because regardless, our average buy-in was 3.8, and we didn't need a legendary to come out in the profit because we are long-term bullish on Karafuru and short-term and medium-term bullish as well. There's only 5,000 compared to normal collections that have 10,000. It's a refreshing type of profile picture, if not collection and artist. I wouldn't say there's anything like it, but there are similar things, but nothing comparable at all. And, it's nice to pick a winner as everything's dumping post-reveal. The one thing we picked is actually right where it was pre-reveal. I think right now it's at about 3.4 ETH, 3.4 Ethereum floor after reveal. And there's massive volume coming in. I think there's one selling every other minute. Shout out FaZe Banks for the shout out to Karafuru. If you check out our Discord, we have a channel that says like everything that we sold for the profit. We did take profit on one of our Karafurus. It wasn't a legendary, but it's pretty rare. We sold it for 12 Ethereum. We bought it for 8 Ethereum profit. And that kind of helps bring down our average so that we are feeling comfy holding the rest or holding a portion of them as we, scale out a tiny bit. We do have a large position, but, not scared at all if it goes down a little bit. We'll be hunting for rares. It's one of those projects that makes more sense to hold than to sell. But yeah, so we sum it all up. We got more liquid in NFTs by selling our NFTs. We pretty much bought and held the only thing that didn't dump post-reveal. And recently, if you saw our Twitter page, we bought a Bored Ape Yacht Club smoker's jacket for 90 Ethereum the other day. Pretty much the lowest that one sold in a while. And then hours after we bought that smoking jacket, another one sold for 117 Ethereum. So we're just aiming on selling ours for about 100 to 105 for 10 to 15 Ethereum profit. And if, the market seems like they're going to take a downturn in the near future, we're not afraid to try to sell it for a small profit of 3 to 5 Ethereum. But we're going to hold out because for Bored Ape Yacht Club, at least they went from 120 Ethereum floor to 90 Ethereum floor in literally a week. So, we're actually just buying the dip, but not afraid to cut that loss there. And as we said, like we're aiming for a meme season. It doesn't have to be a meme season. It could also be a DeFi season. It could also just be an alt season. But right now, the thing that we're looking at the most is Ethereum. So Ethereum's, ranging from 3,000 to 3,250. I think at one point it might have hit 33. I haven't seen the top, but as long as Ethereum stays from 3,000 to 3,250, people will get comfortable. It's called crabbing, just, goes up and down a little bit. It doesn't break out. It doesn't go down a tremendous amount. And that lets people know it's okay to get out of Tether or USDC and into Ethereum and alts. And so we have been hinting at a meme season. We've opened 2 positions, both relatively small compared to the treasury. And as soon as this Bored Ape Yacht Club sells, we're going to allocate some more to our Dion wallet or our Atlas wallet to, average into more memes. But right now, we're just waiting for confirmation. The best part about meme season or DeFi season or any alt season is that you don't have, it's not like a day window. You don't have to buy in the first day. You can, there's so many waves. I would say, most traders would say there's 3 waves to every bull run or every cycle, but with memes and alts there's multiple little waves where you can enter and watch it go higher, or you don't enter and watch it go higher and go higher and go higher and you buy the top. And so we're going to be scaling into positions if we believe that it's confirmed that we're a go. If not, we're comfortable just buying dips. Buying dips is always comfy. Buying dips is always profitable. But right now, we're just waiting for confirmation on what's next. And in the meantime, as Balger said, we brought on another trader for the Solana ecosystem. We're looking for traders or insight in the Metis or Metis ecosystem, and anywhere else we can go to, dabble our toes, get some exposure into up and coming ecosystems, and capture profit from any angle possible. But macro term and macro, and if I mean not NFT, but crypto means probably like a month or two. Our macro strategy, in my opinion, and I think a lot of other people have this anticipation too, is to try to stay nimble and liquid. Because personally, I'm anticipating the APE token drop for Bored Ape Yacht Club. I don't know exactly what it'll look like. If it's a token though, like SOS or Looks or anything like that, then we will be trading that day in and day out for the first couple of weeks, and capturing as much volume or as much gains as we can from that entire charade or fiasco. So as always, our goal is to take what capital we have, inject it anywhere we can, and then take out our capital plus more from that ecosystem. So if we're investing in Bored Apes, we want to put our money in Bored Apes, and we want to take the money out plus more money from Bored Apes. If we're investing in memes, we want to put in 100K, and we want to take out 200K. So all we're doing is bringing in more value and more capital from anywhere there's a bull market to our holders. So right now, waiting for confirmation on a meme season, waiting for confirmation on a DeFi season, waiting for confirmation, or the APE token launches within the next 7 weeks. So staying liquid until that happens. And when that happens, you best believe we will be up many hours of the day trying to take out as much liquidity from that entire up and down cycle as we can. But other than that, if Ethereum looks like shit, we'll get some super terrible news. Let's just say and this is just like an example. It's not what's real. But the U.S. government just seized $3.6 billion. The U.S. government says they're going to start selling over the next couple of months. Then of course that means that we're going bear and that we'll sell everything. But if everything just stays the way it is and just crabs, then we're just waiting for confirmation for DeFi season, meme season, or the APE token to arrive. And that's pretty much our entire market update and what we're looking forward to. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, and so I can kind of build on that and say, like Nate said, as many of you saw, we liquidated a lot of our NFT holdings, sensing this changing tides in the market. And so we have open positions in things like Karafuru, things that we feel like have fundamental value, and we'll continue to expand on those positions and also scale out of them when appropriate. But we cut a lot of positions in more illiquid and smaller assets, and that's just how our investment strategy is changing with the shifting markets. More focused on fundamental projects and things that we can flip quicker, like that, like the Bored Ape snipe that we had with the smoker's jacket. And then also, being able to capitalize, as Nate said, while we wait for confirmation of this full trend of the markets, we can still catch dips. And some, we call Nate Scuba Nate, not only because of his Kong, his legendary Kong that's a scuba diver, but also because Nate is like the best trader I've ever seen, but also, the only trader I've ever seen that can dive into a dip and come out like he did. So yeah, as we touched on before, Nate, wielding the ACYC treasury, hopped in on the CHEDDA dip and came out with 16 ETH profit in 10 minutes. And that value is unmatched. No one can replicate that. And that just goes right into, the profits from that go into our yield farming for stable and consistent returns. So we can sort of leverage those gains. So we're going to be looking for more opportunities like that while we wait for confirmation from the markets to sort of open some longer positions. But overall, we've had our finger on the pulse with the shifting tides of the market. We're very happy with the movements that we've taken. We're very well positioned to take advantage and capitalize on what's going on in the larger market. We also turned Pan. The last time we spoke, we were talking about how Pan was off during the NFT season, and Pan is our algorithm that looks at and snipes new token listings. Because at the time it wasn't very profitable, but we turned Pan on just in time for this season, and Pan has already seen several trades in excess of 200x returns since we turned Pan back on. So keeping in line with understanding the shifting tides of the markets, we flipped Pan on, and Pan is once again performing incredibly for us, flipping pennies to dollars. So very excited about Pan being up and running. We also told you guys about Mimas, our minting protocol, and Mimas has also been doing very well. Mimas is the Pan of NFTs, but if any of you guys saw Cozy Penguins, I don't know, it was a free mint with gas. It was about 0.06 Ethereum to mint 5 of them, and they reached a 0.13 floor. So Mimas had grabbed a nice sizable bag of those. So we saw about an 8x return on our investment through Mimas on Cozy Penguins. And, we're always looking at other projects to have Mimas operate on. But basically, we're looking at all avenues of the market and capitalizing on that and flipping those returns right back into our yield farming. So besides that, this is what we would call the accumulation phase for both our treasury and ACYC. At this point in our development, we're not putting ETH back into the chart and manually reflecting with frequency. This is phase 1, it's treasury growth. Later down the road, we will be doing that. So right now, the treasury keeps growing, and the token might stay at the same value, but that's sort of exactly what we want. It's a great accumulation period while we grow the treasury and control the markets. So, that's sort of what I can say. I don't know if you have stuff to add, Nate.
Hey, sorry.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was doing a COVID test, right? Yeah, I just want to touch base with the Solana ecosystem. I think it's gonna be a good exposure to as well as we go and learn, especially bringing ETH money into the Solana ecosystem and also introducing, seeing the growth. And definitely, I'm very excited to join in with Bogart and also Nate and the rest of the team, Uncle Penny, and we can learn a lot from you guys, me personally, and yeah, I mean, cross-chain is something that we are excited, and thank you for bringing me on board as well. And I think it's a both learning for both of us as well.
Yeah, definitely. There's a back and forth between the ecosystems, and what one does isn't exactly indicative of what the other does. And there's money to be captured in every market and every ecosystem. So bringing Chef on to sort of hone in on the Solana market, as well as we're looking at other farmers to branch out into farming the Cosmos ecosystem, looking at Metis, like Nate said. We're always looking to expand and add resiliency to our protocol. So having Arnold on is just the start of that.
Cool. The only thing that I have to add is if you've listened to like all the spaces, or if you've heard a portion of them, you always hear me say if this then that. That's kind of how I make all my decisions. Earlier in the space, I said like if Ethereum crabs and doesn't absolutely tank or absolutely moon, then we'll see a meme season or a DeFi season or some type of season. And so if Ethereum doesn't moon, then we'll see some type of season. And I can for sure say that if Ethereum just doesn't absolutely die in the next coming weeks, then we'll see an amazing Q1 for ACYC. This every cycle, every market has to have its little bull and bear. You can't have a bull without a bear, because during a little bear, you get people to educate themselves. So if anybody here is like NFT natives, then you'll be aware of the amount of stupidity going on in the space. We've got people minting out projects for 1 Ethereum each, which is absolutely insane. 1 Ethereum used to be the goal for your floor, and projects are getting sold at 1 Ethereum. I know we just had Pixelmon sell out at 3 Ethereum each, which was about $70 million sucked out of the ecosystem. And that's absolutely insane. Like $70 million out of the ecosystem, that's $70 million that isn't getting actively traded every day. It's just gone. It's in creators' hands. They're not buying NFTs with it. It's just gone. And I think a lot of people are getting what we call post-nut clarity. And across NFTs, and they're saying, oh, maybe I shouldn't mint this. Maybe if I, same thing what we talked about with like the female avatars. Maybe we shouldn't be buying these if we don't want them. Maybe if I don't want to hold it long term, I shouldn't get it. Or if I don't have a clear and concise goal, then I shouldn't buy. And that's what bears are used for, however short they may be, is that it kind of educates the people on where they went wrong, what they should do in the future. And so we've had a bear in memes. We've had a bear, mini bear. I think it's been like a couple month or month and a half bear in DeFi. And a lot of people are making better decisions now. They're kind of realizing that, if you have to stake a token to yield more of the token, then at some point you have to sell that token to realize your profit, or the tokens you're yielding, the supply is going up, so it's a race to the bottom. And I think everyone's kind of realized that, and they've kind of taken this last month to decide what's next. And so if Ethereum doesn't die in the next couple of weeks, or if Ethereum doesn't absolutely moonshot to 10K in the next month, then we'll see ACYC yielding massive profits, because we'll be, like I said, we got two hands on the pulse of whether it's memes or whether it's DeFi or whether it's both. Getting mixed signals from both. They're both recovering, DeFi and memes, but cannot confirm which one it's going to be. And a little lesson for anybody here who's just NFT native and isn't used to what happens during a meme season or what happens during DeFi season, or mainly just meme season, is, let me just break it down for you real quick. And this is why we scaled out of NFTs, because if a meme season happens, you have a lot of people throwing $100 or $1,000 at a meme coin. And when I say a lot of people, like some of these tokens are holding 40,000 holders. And, during a single day, you'll get, a medium-sized meme coin doing $50 million in volume, thousands of transactions. And you'll see gas for buying an NFT go up to like $300. And when people have to spend $300 on gas, which right now is 0.1 Ethereum, to just buy a token that might be 1 Ethereum, they don't do that. They stop. And we'll see the NFT market die for a minute if meme season comes around. That's why we scale at NFTs, plus they were at the top. And so if you guys see a meme season come on, like a massive one, do not buy the NFT dip. Wait for the meme season to start dying, because that's when people will start tweeting again, hey, it's $50 gas to buy a token, or I'm sweeping the floor, it's only $50 a transaction. Because it doesn't make sense to buy only one NFT for $300 gas, as compared to you can put $100,000 into a meme token for 150. It's the same, one transaction. So if we see a meme season, don't be buying these NFT dips. Wait for confirmation. Just a little heads up, you'll lose money. I think somebody once said, being too early is the same as being wrong. So if you buy something too early, it's the same as being wrong. It's pretty simple. It's pretty plain. And so if Ethereum doesn't die, or if Ethereum doesn't go to 10K in the next month, then quarter one for ACYC will be massive. And as soon as APE Token launches, I'm going to make sure. I mean, not even as soon. Like, we are staying liquid. We are not completely NFT or illiquid assets, because as soon as APE Token launches, we are ready to grow our treasury. We are ready to hit that 4x on $1 million. We're ready to make massive gains. And even if we don't completely get to $10 million through just APE Token, if we get APE Token plus meme season, $10 million treasury is right around the corner before end of quarter one for sure. If we get both of those, if we get both of those, then we'll hit that $10 million treasury for sure. So that's kind of our goals. That's kind of the narrative we're spinning. Other than that, we're in talks, as we've always said in the past spaces, we're in talks with a couple large contributors who are very interested in ACYC. Actually, we're in talks with a few. Some of them are closer to fruition than others, but just know that we're piquing the interest of people who want to throw more than the average investor and want to support our current and long-term visions. And for the average investor, we've always hinted at it with our upcoming Alpha Pass. We're going to incorporate a way for average investors to also contribute directly to the treasury, but we won't touch more on that yet. But there will be just plain out Alpha Passes, and there will be some that can also contribute to the treasury and capture a larger share of gains. But we'll touch more on that in the future. And we're also working on incorporating a way to influence people to get onboarded into ACYC. I think that's as far as I can go with that, but that'll happen like as soon as possible. And we'll touch more on that in the Discord when we get closer to it, but that should be happening very soon because we believe probably, I don't want to say now is the best time to get into ACYC, but I'm saying that if we execute everything that we say we're going to execute, which is as a responsible investor, if you heard everything I just said, and if it all happens, then you would say, okay, they do what they say they're going to do. But if it doesn't happen, then you would say, well, ACYC doesn't do what they say they're going to do. So, if we do what I just said we're going to do, and if everything happens how we're planning for it to happen, then now is a great time to buy ACYC. Because we've been planning for this for a long time. We haven't tried to, float the boat off of hopium. We tried to add substance, and I think right now we are, taking the turn into exactly what we're planning to go. So yeah, we're going to help onboard people into ACYC. We'll announce that in the next day or two, I believe. And let's fucking go. I think this is this is probably the point in NFT crypto season where we all get our last hurrah. After this last hurrah, we'll focus more on farming as a service and stable 30 to 60% APY, attract institutional investors more. But for now, we're going to focus on the degen stuff and the stuff we're good at to grow our treasury to the 10 mil mark before the end of Q1 like we planned. So yeah, that's all I have to add for that.
Yeah, sweet. I think Nate did a good job about summing that up. Our views on the market and where we're at and where ACYC itself is at. Let's just say without leaking too much, it's a good accumulation period, and we're about to do some stuff you guys are all going to like. Announcements to come soon that will sort of help with that as well. So next to that, Chef, if you have anything to add before we do questions, now would be the time. Otherwise, we can roll right into it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, it's good as well, and very excited with the I think Solana ecosystem as well. They're very excited for bringing smart money into the ecosystem, and yeah, I mean, as what Nate said, it's not just about the DeFi and NFT farming and stuff like that. When there's bull and there's bear, I think it goes the same as well with all the other chain, and I'm pretty sure from if it's a slight bear in NFT in ETH, there's always a bull in Solana, and goes both ways like that throughout the chain. So yeah, we're very excited to cross chain and surf deeper into the Solana ecosystem.
Yeah, that's great. There's always a bull somewhere for sure, and our job as ACYC is to capture that and to capitalize on that. And so instead of you having to worry about individually, navigating other ecosystems, navigating meme coins, navigating NFTs on Ethereum, navigating DeFi yield farming or options, whatever it is, we do it all. And the profits from that flow back into ACYC, the token. So we're sort of the one-stop shop for all things crypto. And if you know Nate as a trader and you want access to Nate's trading, you can grab ACYC. And the profits from his scuba Nate dives into dips, that goes right back into the token after being leveraged elsewhere. So that's really what we're all about. And expanding into Solana is just branching out even further into that, bringing on more experienced traders. So next to that, I think that's all we have to say. We can definitely take some questions. If anybody has any, feel free to raise your hand and we'll bring you up on the stage. You can ask questions for Chef, for Nate, about the market, us about ACYC, whatever it is. And if not, we'll end the spaces. I'll just give anyone a minute here to reach out, raise a hand. Sweet. Yeah, we got Johnny Solana. Okay, Johnny, you are added.
Greetings and salutations to all my friends.
Hey, sir.
What's going on, guys? How are you today?
Doing well, my friend. And how about you?
Very well, thank you. first of all, I'd just like to say thank you so much for putting this together. Really appreciate you for having me on here. I kind of wanted to know, so are about like, are you guys, is the CyberKongs ultimately, this is like an NFT project?
Is what we're doing here at ACYC an NFT project? Is that what you're
Oh
asking?
no, I was kind of wondering about the CyberKongs, but are you guys also working within the NFTs for the ACYC as well?
Yeah, so we as ACYC we trade, we trade NFTs with the treasury, CyberKongs included. I think right now we're holding 10 or 11 VX CyberKongs and maybe two babies in anticipation for their upcoming play to collect. So we're definitely touching the CyberKongs ecosystem. I don't know if that was
Yes. No.
if that answers your
Right.
question.
I don't even know. I mean, it's just like, we got 200 people at this space that's recorded, so like, it's a little bit of pressure here. I'm feeling, but I mean, you guys seem like a nice group of lads here. I definitely would like to
No,
learn
you're
more about
great. No pressure
ACYC
at all.
because, like, I'm really not too familiar. I have a friend in here that kind of is in here. Shout out to Rain. I saw the space and I had to pop up in here. I play recorder. I like crypto. I'm very into Solana ecosystem and all the NFT projects. I like to. They've been sponsoring and doing hacker houses all over. So like being able to network and communicate, it's really furthering my knowledge because ultimately I believe, I'm just kind of like that average day, everyday guy. Like I have a 9 to 5 job and I come home and I spend all my free time in crypto and NFTs, and also play the recorder at the club with Chance the Rapper and Solana sponsored events without any pay because for my passion. I'm going to do a little preview right here if you don't mind.
Okay.
Something like that. But yeah. Tell me a little bit about ACYC though. I'd love to learn more about that. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get, like multi-chain giant Solano maybe or
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, so to touch on just what ACYC is for anyone listening that doesn't know, yourself included, basically we are a fund that sort of uses the treasury to invest in everything in crypto, be it yield farming, NFTs on Solana, Ethereum, buying new meme coins as they release, buying dips on coins, going long. I mean, everything you can do to capture capture capital from the markets in Web3, we use our treasury to do that. And then we take those profits, we leverage the profits in yield farming, which is stable and consistent gains. So if we make 50 ETH trading NFTs, we bring that over to yield farming and make it into a lot more than 50 ETH. And then we take profits from that to buy our own token at market, ACYC, and then we can actually distribute those purchase tokens to everybody holding ACYC currently. And that's called manual reflections. So, and also on the volume side, there is a tax on the purchasing side of ACYC where a percentage of every purchase is distributed as well automatically to holders. So you might be familiar with coins that have staking and claiming. We don't have to do that. If you're holding ACYC, your balance just grows. Your amount of ACYC just grows over time. And that's both from the volume coming in and from the manual distributions of profits, which at this point are more sparse than they will be later as we focus on growing the treasury. So, if you don't know about yield farming, if you don't know about trading NFTs, if you don't feel confident flipping Bored Apes, if you don't feel confident throwing 60 ETH in on a dip of a coin to pull 17 ETH profits out in 10 minutes, that's what we do, because we have a variety of very experienced traders and farmers. All the people knowledgeable in the space are sort of working on ACYC, and so holding our token just gives you direct exposure to all of that. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, certainly. I mean, that sounds quite lovely. And yeah, just like you kind of hit on that point, if there's, I think, a large kind of a barrier between, just like the most average of people's to understanding the fundamentals and everything, even, because it's like you'll break it down and you'll make it, rather, you'll think it's like rather simple, but it's like if a person really doesn't understand any sort of fundamentals within the crypto ecosystem, any ecosystems, or just crypto in general, right? It's kind of going to sound like some hieroglyphs and everything. And it's like, ultimately, I think one of my largest passions in myself as an individual is just kind of like mitigating that gap ultimately, and trying to bridge together, because I guess as I'm like, I think just as an average day person, like I'm putting myself out there, like coming to these spaces and like meeting people in real life, and having these conversations. I think ultimately the communication, that could really free us. I think if we're able to communicate with one another, and just kind of not give up, and listen to each and every single one of us out, and kind of work together. So honestly, if you guys have any opportunity or anything for like a person like me to get involved, I'd love to reach out furthermore, and just touch base and everything. And I appreciate you
Sweet.
guys for having me so much. And I'll switch back down to listener. Thank you guys so much. One
Yeah,
more little
thank you.
piece right here on the flute.
That's great. Yeah, thank you. I mean, I love the enthusiasm there. And we do have a contributor form on our Twitter page for anyone interested. If you're a Twitter person, if you're a farmer, if you're a trader, there's an application, to become involved with the team. So thanks for coming up. And I will now bring on Shira Lee. I will bring you up and a few other people for some questions. Shira Lee. I don't know how to say it, but
Hi.
you're here as a speaker now.
Hi, how
Hi.
are you guys?
Doing well,
I
thank
love
you.
that
How are
flute. It
you?
was really, really nice. Really nice. Makes the conversation a little better. So I had a few little questions just to understand. Thank you for having me here. And let me just ask my little questions. I've just looked into ICYC very briefly, and it looks very similar to the concept of a DAO. What would you say? I mean, you've established it as a token, right? So, what would you compare it to a DAO, and why didn't you establish it as a DAO?
So, you know what, Nate, if you want to take this, I know Nate has strong opinions on DAOs. Where a DAO, I'll let Nate go.
Sure.
Yeah. So we didn't establish it as a DAO because a DAO is like a decentralized autonomous organization. So they need to vote on everything that gets passed, or they need people in charge of the vote to, decide whether or not to sell. So if you've noticed, like a bunch of these DAOs, DAOs that have bought a bunch of punks, or DAOs that have bought a bunch of Bored Apes. I know recently 8 DAO with 109 Bored Apes. They recently just announced that they had a vote passed that they're going to liquidate all of their apes.
Hmm.
And so, that's gonna spook the Bored Ape market. And also, if you have such a large position, you should be scaling out on the way up. So they should have been scaling out from 60 Ethereum all the way to 130, if they were like thinking that this is near the top. In short, we are here for the quick flips and the quick profit, and then turning that into yield farming. So yield farming is something that we want to put a large amount of capital into and get 30 to 100% APY. But to do so, we need to generate capital by raising funds and by doing quick flips. So if you were here in the beginning of the space, yesterday we executed a trade where we bought 60 Ethereum worth of a token on its dip. It dipped like 50% in 30 minutes. And 7 minutes later, we sold for 16 Ethereum profit. But with a DAO, we would have needed to, run a vote for the buy and run a vote for the sell. And
Yeah,
so it's just not,
sorry to cut you, but this is
yeah.
something that perhaps you guys can have control over, meaning that, like, obviously, if you hold the majority of it, then obviously you have the majority of votes within the your DAO if you establish a DAO. And I'm not saying, I'm just being the devil's advocate, and I'm just trying to understand why you chose that kind of positioning for ACYC, which
Right.
is fair enough, but at the end of the day, maybe also yield farming is great, which where your return can be much quicker and so on, but at the same time it could also imply more risks.
Right. So, we do plan to have elements of voting in the future for larger decisions, but we're here to make the maximum amount of profit possible. And a lot of times, decisions for investments have to be made on the fly. And calling a vote and having a bunch of people
Mm-hmm.
decide what to do with the treasury is just not an effective way to allocate capital. What we chose to do instead is get the very best traders, the very best farmers, the very best informed people in the space, and allow them to, use their experience to make the most money possible. So it's just about yielding the most possible, and having a DAO structure just isn't efficient.
For your, yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Thank you. Just two more. I've also looked into where the purchase of the token could be, and I think so far it's Uniswap and BitMEX, right? Is there any plan for other platforms exchange to buy ACYC?
So we don't have plans to do other exchanges at this point. Our reflection system, where a percentage of the purchase gets distributed to current holders, is not supported by a lot of exchanges. And also,
Okay.
exchanges tend to cost a good bit of capital to, get on there. And we would rather just use that capital to grow the treasury and to invest further.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm just also just on the page, just wanted to see the just out of curiosity, the white paper. Is it available online?
We don't have a white paper per se, but we do have a Medium. If you're on our website and you click, I think, docs or blog at the top, it'll take you to our Medium, which has several articles that sort of act as our functional white paper at this point.
All right. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the questions. I will
Bye.
bring up Jazul. I saw you raise your hand a while ago. Jazul, you should be live.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for unmuting me. Super novice question, and I'm sorry about this, guys, but and this is for Nate too. What do you look for in a meme coin? What websites do you use to find them? And what are some red flags when looking at meme coins?
Yo, I have a YouTube account. I actually made 2 master classes, I call them. They're free though. Usually when you hear masterclass, you think paid. I made 2 masterclass YouTube videos on meme coins that pretty much covers it all, and they're about 3 hours combined. And if you watch those and we hit a meme season within the next couple of weeks, then you will be well positioned to make much more than the average person. But in terms of websites, there's not many. Have you heard of Dex Tools?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so Dex Tools is where you want to live. It'll show you all the recently created tokens, and from there you can track their volume. You can track whether or not they're catching steam, and usually the stereotypical cycle is, say, something's called, like, let's just say the ticker is money sign DOGE, Doge. You'll go into Twitter and you'll type in hashtag DOGE, and you'll see if it has any traction. You'll see if any main accounts are calling it out, accounts with 200,000 followers or 20,000. You'll see if it has an official looking website or, Twitter account. And then from there, you'll make an informed decision. But for the most part, the only goals in meme season is avoiding the rugs and avoiding the shitty teams. There's a couple websites that will show you whether or not something can rug or whether or not the liquidity is locked. But for the most part, what I look for in meme season is past performers. It's the safest thing possible. What was performing well in the last meme season and how's it looking now? So for an example, there's a token called Elon. I think it's sitting at like a 400 mil market cap, which sounds like a lot, but in a meme season, it could go anywhere from 4 bill to 8 bill, which also sounds like a lot, but it could. It's a 10 to 20x, and when I say could, it will if we do hit a meme season. There's other tokens like Bezog. It's a meme mixed with what do you call it, gaming. They've got the Bezog Earth. It's an entire game that just launched or in alpha right now. So it's memes mixed with play to earn and stuff like that. It's somewhere at like 100 mil market cap. It topped out at a bill a few months ago. So it's 10x to the top from here. And if it goes to the top, I expect it to, crush through it. So that's another 10x. I think what I'm getting at, though, is find out what crushed it the last meme season or previous meme seasons and invest in those, or what's getting the most hype and backing by big accounts. For example, like right now, Floki and Satyama, the biggest accounts are backing those two as the next Shiba. And so, yeah, that's how you decide who to pick. And when you're trying to get into new meme tokens, one of the safest method, other than, falling a lot, is find out what catches a bunch of traction, like what new thing just launched like yesterday and has $10 million in volume. Wait for a 50% retrace from wherever the current top is and just buy in and wait a week. But other than that, I would definitely watch the Masterclass YouTube videos. They go way more in depth. And by the end of it, you'll be able to make some money for yourself if we hit a meme season.
And I'll also say, if that's all a lot to take in, that's sort of why ACYC exists, and we do all of that trading. So if you're holding ACYC, we do all those trades, and you as a holder can sort of sit back, relax, and benefit from that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Sure thing. Appreciate the question.
Yeah, no problem. And if you've never been in a meme season, though, I would really recommend watching the videos if you're going to enter. Otherwise, you'll be, somebody else's take profit. So yeah, watch the videos, or because meme season's pretty brutal. There's a lot of FOMO.
Sweet. I brought on 5K Vet.
Hey, what's up, man? I had a couple of quick questions. Number one, how would you guys potentially deal with the possible burnout situation from all this trading? Because I mean, you guys are probably going to be consumed with this, 24/7 for God knows how long. And then number two, are you guys kind of looking at investments, say, outside the crypto space, or maybe even, buying into a company kind of at IDO price or something? If there's anything you could elaborate on.
Yeah, totally. So burnout, we have several traders, and we're always working. I mean, Nate and I have both been trading for years, through bulls, through bears, all of it. So, I kind of live for it, and I know he does too. So I don't think, we don't anticipate any burnout, but we do have, a very well-defined and spread out team of individuals trading collectively. So it's not contingent on any individual. So that's sort of navigating burnout. As far as looking outside of the crypto space, we're certainly open to, ICOs and things like that, opportunities like that for ACYC, talking to, partners and connections that can kind of hook us up there. We're all about capturing profits in all markets that we can. So if there was a way for ACYC to, sell tulips and make a bunch of money and distribute that to our holders, we would do it. It's just about making the most money possible in all markets that we're able to be familiar with. So at this point, that is Web3, where it's a very lucrative enterprise being involved here. And so that is where our focuses are at this point.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. You a legend, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it, buddy. I'm going to bring up Cash Ape. I'm going to bring you up now.
Yeah, and then just one more thing about the burnout, because burnout's very real. I think I grinded from 2017 till the end of 2019, and when I say like grinded, I mean like I was that stereotypical at the dinner table looking at the chart. And while that can be profitable, if I miss something that moons in an hour, it's whatever. It doesn't happen often. And our main trading investing strategy right now is to plan. So it's very relaxing planning, looking at something, analyzing it. Same thing like we talked about with CHEDDA. CHEDDA went from a 7K market cap, $7,000 market cap, to a 1.8 bill market cap. And the only time we bought was yesterday when it dipped 50% in 30 minutes. So we set alerts, and I got a ping that it was dipping because it was literally a straight up moonshot. And I got an alert that it was dipping. Go to the computer, watch it. That's where I feel comfortable entering. Enter the first position, enter the second position, sell the rip. Bought the dip, sell the rip, walk away from the computer. If I stayed at the computer, I could have caught another dip or two, another couple 20% swings, but we only aimed for one. We only aimed for one setup. The setup came and we entered. But yeah, burnout's very real. If anybody out there, grinds all day at the computer. Remember that you don't always have to, like, selling is an option, buying is an option, and holding is also an option. So you don't always have to sell, you don't have to buy, you can also hold, because not everything always goes up, and you're not always going to pick a winner. And if you pick a loser and try to make it back on another one, and then that goes sour, then you'll be grinding trying to find the winner. So literally plan what you're going to do. Say, oh, I feel like this is a market where I should be holding for today, or I should be, looking away and just checking these setups. So yeah, burnout's real. And the one thing about ACYC that leverages us to avoid burnout is that we do have so many traders. So if somebody did feel like they were overextending themselves, that they could, step away. But at this point, we're all pretty well, we're all pretty well attended to.
Sweet, yeah. I think that does it. Okay, Cash Ape. All right, Cash, you should be live here.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hear you loud and clear, buddy.
Thanks a lot. I've been having an interesting back and forth with Nate. I don't know if he knows me, but just on Twitter about the NFT rugs that have been coming up recently. And Nate's, to be honest, even though I've been having a go at him, he's done a good job on sort of finding out which ones they are and sort of saving me some money. So my question is really to Nate. I know you said you're flipping. ACYC is doing the flips, and it seems like you're doing a lot on crypto, which makes sense. But are you doing any NFTs? And if so, it seems it's getting oversaturated right now. I don't know whether it's because of the volume on bear market or it's because of education and people realizing that most of these are going to zero and they're just buying and then just selling as soon as it's not above the floor. So I'm thinking, firstly, are you doing, as part of ACYC, not personally, Nate, are you doing the flips for ACYC? And if you are, I mean, what's the plan like at this time? Because it doesn't look too good. Like, I know that you bought MAYC and you waited and you did a good job on that, sort of getting in at 3 and getting out at 8. But like, that's a bit like you have to wait a couple of months, 3 months to do that. I mean, what's the plan with NFTs?
So with NFTs, we entered back into NFTs early January, I think like January 3rd. And about a week ago, we actually sold pretty much, I'd say 80% of our holdings near the top, because everybody was euphoric. Bored Apes went to 120. Everything was pumping. We were seeing all these 3D avatars mint out at like $12 million. And like you said, everybody's just buying stuff hoping to flip it. And what that is a bunch of, it's technically called new money. New money coming to the space, people who haven't learned the lessons of what's a cash grab and what's not. And there's more and more alpha and paid Telegram groups than have ever been in NFTs. And so you've got a bunch of these people who are like stock bros, or, are people who are used to flipping meme coins only. And they come to NFTs and they think they meant a project and they sell it for a flip, but they realize that, just because it has a bunch of Instagram paid shills, just because it has a billboard, just because the team says bullish things doesn't mean it's going to go to the moon. And I think, to me, a week ago, it was apparent that it was time to sell. And so we cleared out most of our holdings, and all we're doing is buying dips and selling the flips. So we bought a Bored Ape for 90 Ethereum the other day. The trait floor for that Bored Ape is like 120. So we're going to sell it for 100 Ethereum for 10 ETH profit and call it a day there. Our only play was Karafuru. That we can say that we planned. We planned to buy Karafuru and hold it post reveal, and so that's what we did. And our only upcoming plan for ACYC's NFTs are to hold CyberKong's VX and babies into the upcoming Play to Collect update. Very bullish. If anybody's not familiar, go check out all the nice articles on CyberKong's Play to Collect. And other than that, waiting for the Bored Ape Yacht Club token announcement. So, for now, most of our liquidity in our NFT wallets are going to be pulled out, and we're going to be putting those into our token trading wallets. And as soon as the APE token is launched, this is also some alpha for anybody listening. If the APE token is launched, like if the Bored Ape team announces, oh, we're dropping the token in a week, And if you're not asleep for 12 hours, then you're early. If you buy literally everything or anything that you can afford in the first hour and hold it until a day before the token launches, you'll be madly in the profit. So that's what we plan to do. We're going to, most likely buy dogs. Dogs are typically the most affordable to everybody. So no matter what price the dogs are, I expect them to at least 2x. So we'll sweep the dog floor. And that's free alpha because there will be volume for everybody. Everybody could buy the dogs. Everyone could buy the mutants. They'll go up. These Bored Ape people and NFT people in general don't want to sell before they get their token. But I do expect some of them to plan to sell the day before, but we'll be like scaling out 2 days, or if not just the day before. And then we'll be waiting for the APE token to launch. And once the APE token launches, we'll be flipping that if it's a token that can be traded on Uniswap. But if it's something that you have to yield, then we'll likely be analyzing at that time, maybe buying some dips. But other than that, zero plans for NFTs. Nothing seems promising. I think a lot of people got kicked in the balls recently when realizing what they were minting is literal trash that a Fiverr artist can make in a week. And their project roadmaps are just recycled roadmaps from other projects. And so, like you said, a bunch of people came into the space, don't know what to do, and are losing a bunch of money. And so they're kind of exhausted with NFTs, and we're exhausted too. I want these people to get educated, and so now we're moving into meme tokens or DeFi, whichever one is going to be the one to lead the pack.
Sweet. Yeah, I think that was a great summary there. And I see we have a couple more questions here. A few more people we can bring up. I'll start with DGen MD, DGen Doctor. Sweet, you're up, DGen. Can't hear you yet, though. In the meantime, I will add Bossman. Sweet, Bossman. If you have a question, feel free to shoot. You're up as a speaker, Bossman. We're ready for your question.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah, I just want to, congratulate you guys. You guys are doing a great job with trading. And I just had one question about marketing. I heard back in the days you guys were talking about, we're doing marketing and we're bringing, some goal was like getting 10,000 holders and stuff. So I'm just had a question about like where you guys are with marketing and, what's the time limit that you guys have set for yourself to get more. I personally believe that is going to help the coin itself a lot. So I just had a question like, what are we doing? Is ACYC doing the same aggressive pattern with the marketing as well as you guys are doing with the trading?
Yeah, so we're less aggressive with our marketing strategies. We do have a marketing team now. We have set up our internal KPIs for our performance as far as that goes, and a lot of strategies, things in the pipeline ready to employ to sort of to kick that into high gear.
All right. Thank you so much. Just wanted to ask that question. And good luck. I have all the belief in ACYC, and I've been holding since the second day ACYC came out, and I have full confidence in you guys. So great job.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I
I see
appreciate
the
the question.
reflections coming along. So, no doubts that we are on the way to the moon. Thank you guys.
I appreciate it, man. Sweet. D-Ream. Dream brought you up. Feel free to ask a question.
Hi. Thank you for adding me.
Yeah, sure thing.
I'm pretty new to the space. Like, I started learning about NFTs in late December, and I'm still on my learning journey, and it seems like there's a lot of different information and paths that people talk about taking, and they can be like complete opposite recommendations sometimes. So I was just wondering, like, what tips would you have, or how would you recommend navigating the field.
Nate, you want to take this one?
Yeah. Could you the question one more time? Sorry, I was trying to add someone.
No worries. I guess my question is, how would you recommend like newcomers navigate the space, and like what, I don't know, techniques or methods do you think is better for those people?
For tokens or NFTs?
Both.
So for NFTs, like, and this is what I've told everyone I know, we just entered like a giant bull. Like some people might say it was unsatisfying because of all the dumb buys, but we just entered a dumb bull. And bull means that a bunch of people were buying, a bunch of floors went up and stuff of that nature. When did you get into crypto checks? What price point?
Like 1.6 or something.
So January 1st, they were 0.05, 0.05 Ethereum. And that was at like the peak of the bear, which is like the point where you couldn't sell anything. And so what I would suggest for anybody in the market right now is to sit on their hands in terms of NFTs. I would say like I would literally look in the mirror and say, I will not buy. I will not buy. Like do not buy an NFT in my opinion. Because yes, you might make 2x, but like we just said, that crypto chick was 0.05 literally 2 months ago, and that is a 30x. So yes, you might make it 2x, but there's a better chance that you're going to lose 50%. And what I would do is I would just follow as many I always say follow tastemakers. There's a bunch of people on NFT Twitter who will only post when they actually do believe that there's something promising in the works. Like I personally will only post publicly super bullishly if I really believe that something's going to do well. Like I posted all about Karafurus, and if anybody like bought on my accord, then you bought the only thing that didn't dip post reveal. And there's other people like me and other people better than me. And I would go and I'd scout out who they are. I would go and I'd just create the best following list ever and follow them and have my feed filled with the best people. I wouldn't be following anybody who doesn't have a track record. Like even if somebody replies something nice to you in the comments, I wouldn't follow them. I would make sure that you are literally following people who give good advice. If they say NFT promoter in their bio, do not follow them. If they post whitelist, do not follow them. Literally just follow the smartest people, learn as much as you can, and wait for the next bear. And buy some stuff you like. But that's as far as NFTs. And if NFTs, like if someone's new or this is their first like time, you're going to be exit liquidity. So I wouldn't, I want to flood my own market, but that's literally where we're at. And for those who like know me, like I've always said, like once APE Token launches, I believe that'll be the blow off top for NFTs, because APE Token will be given to Bored Apes and retail. So people who don't hold NFTs will be buying the APE Token for exposure to Bored Apes. And so people who aren't NFTs will be giving money to people who are in NFTs. And those people who are in NFTs that have the APE Token will be spending on NFTs. So it'll kind of be like one last giant injection into NFTs. And then after that, we're going straight down. That'll be the top, I believe. But learn as much as you can in NFTs, find as many people to follow as you can, research what they say, find out who's like popular. There's a bunch of people who make really good informed decisions, and, enter as many giant spaces as you can and follow the most educated person in that space. And the exact same thing goes for crypto. There's an app called Dex Tools. It shows a bunch of like Ethereum traded tokens. Find out what mooned. So recently, CHEDDA, I've mentioned in this space, it went from 7K market cap, $7,000 market cap to a $1.8 billion market cap in a month. That's like insane. Go and the cash tag, so it's cash tag CHEDDA, CHEDDA. Type that into Twitter. So I would type in hashtag CHEDDA, CHEDDA, and I would look through the most popular posts and see who was saying to buy cheddar when it was low. So when it was like at a 7K market cap to a 1 mil market cap. See who is posting about it. See who's like on the ground doing the research. Same thing with MRI, Marshall Rogan NU. It just went from like a 30K market cap to a 50 mil market cap in like a couple of days or a few days. Find out who is tweeting about it super early and follow those people. And then just like wait for what they say. Wait for their next calls. Simple, easy way to get free alpha. But yeah, that's pretty much the only insight I have on all that.
Thank you. That was actually a lot of insight.
Yeah, thank you for the
no problem.
question. Chenti, I saw you were raising your hand.
Yep. Hey, Bogart.
Hey.
Hey, team. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you great.
First of all, I just want to say thanks for having me up. Also super stoked to see you guys bring Arnold on the team. I don't really have much experience in the Solana chain, so I'm glad to see that we're getting experts on the team that do. So I'm sorry I don't really have a question for Arnold, even though he's sitting up here. It's kind of more directed towards Nate, unfortunately, and fortunately for me. With Cool Pets coming out, I know obviously I'm guessing, since looking at the ACYC Holdings wallet, and just hearing you guys mainly talk about play to collect via Kongs, is there really no eyes going into Cool Pets with their mint this week?
I personally bought some from my own account, the Cool Pets, but it's hard to say. So there's 20,000 Cool Pets and there's 10,000 Cool Cats. And if you are you familiar with Cool Cats?
Yes.
So if you're familiar with Cool Cats, you know that they're literally the most illiquid of all NFTs that have ever been. They have like a 10 Ethereum floor right now, but hardly, like, when people buy them, they buy them for a day and then they dump. So their holders are not the strongest in terms of holding, and they never get much attention in terms of like extreme volume, like CloneX or Bored Apes do. And so I think that for ACYC as a holding, I didn't see a reason to degen any Cool Pets, and I don't see a reason why Cool Pets will be, so much. I don't really think so.
Gotcha.
Because if
more
they
like a personal buy and enjoyment rather than an actual smart investing
like
move.
I don't, but this is why I'm talking slow and kind of like thinking, because I look for like indicators. So if you're on OpenSea and you go to the buy now, if you filter by buy now, there's only 650 of them listed out of 20,000. So, percentage wise, that's like 4%, 3%. 3% of the entire collection is listed. And that's a low amount for any collection. Like most collections are 10 to 30. So only 3 or 4% is listed, which means with one big sweep, which we've been seeing, it can go up. But personally, I do not anticipate them to moon at all. I expect them to range from like 1.5 ETH to 2.5. And if they go up to, 3 Ethereum, so what? We missed out on 50% from here. But yeah, I wouldn't suggest anybody sweep the floor with Cool Pets.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I appreciate your guys' time. Really like what you guys are doing in the space. Glad to hear you guys keep doing spaces. So look forward to what's next. Thank you.
Thank you, man. I'm going to invite up DJN MD, DJN Doctor again. See if maybe his microphone's working this time. Or her. I don't know. Hey, DJN.
Hey, thanks for having me. Just a quick follow-up for Nate. To your CHEDDA dip, what tool were you using for your price alert? And if so, what parameters did you put in to eyeball that dip? It was pretty sweet. Thanks.
Yeah, so our dev has a little, so we have an alpha token coming out with a Discord channel. And in that, we put something like that where it sends this little @ signal. But I know there are tools out there that will let you know. But personally, when looking at like the chart, the top was 0.005, so it was 0.05, so it's 5 cents, 5 cents per token. And so when I saw that, I just put in alert me when it hits 3 cents, and it alerted me when it hit 3 cents. And all the way down to support would have been 2 cents, but that's way too low. So started averaging in at like 2.5 cents and 2.7 cents. But as far as apps go, I don't use an app, but I know there are apps. I just use a little alert thing in our chat. And yeah, so usually I buy in 50% from the top. So when it was at 5 cents, I said, whatever's 50% from the top, I'm buying in. and I'm not afraid to start buying it at 40%. And there's 3% tax on it, unlike other memes that have like 10 to 15%. So I feel much more comfortable not being down 10% instantly when buying the dip. But yeah, so no specific apps.
Awesome, thanks.
Sweet. I'll bring up a few more people here. Why not? The first I saw, I think, was Dave here. I'll bring you up, Dave. We'll probably end with this round of questions from Dave, Sweet Tooth, Ivan, and Crypto Goats. So starting with you, Dave.
Hey guys, I chimed in not too long ago, so you just answered my first question. I was going to say, are you guys coming out with like a alpha Discord where you guys can make calls? You can even, I didn't know if you guys were going to do that for NFTs too. And then also, are you guys going to offer like any kind of staking with your coin?
Ha! So you're hitting on two things that I will answer because Nate will leak too much.
Well, I'm glad I
we
asked.
do have an yeah, right. We do have an alpha pass coming. Right now, there's an alpha channel in the ACYC Discord for holders of 200 million plus. We've also recently brought on a whitelist guy, and we will be providing whitelist opportunities for those alpha holders as well. But there will be an alpha pass with many more details to be announced, and that's going to be an entire series of channels set up unlike really anything else I've seen in the space. And I've been in Origins and MVHQ, and we've seen a lot of these other alpha channels, and what we have is a crazy aggregate of data being pulled from an insane amount of places, and it's sort of like the back end what we use to inform our investments. So that'll be available with many more details to be announced. As far as staking goes for ACYC, I won't say too much, but all I can say is we are open to everything and always thinking, considering, and talking about options, including that. And that's where I have to leave it.
Awesome, thanks. You know, because I'm personally, I actually made like I hit GM when it first came out from an alpha call, so I'm excited to see your guys's.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, appreciate that, and we're excited to bring it to you guys. And you know, if you are in the alpha channel as it is, there have been some amazing plays in there. I know they got Mongoose at like 200,000 market cap before it had a crazy run up. So that's a good start for sure. But yeah, thank you for the question. And now let's take on Crypto Goats. Sweet, Crypto Goats, you should be on.
Hey Nate, thanks for this. I have two questions. The first one being, like we talked about memes, and then you take profit and you buy the dip and then sell at 30% profit or something like that. Like that's all well and good for a bigger bankroll, but for people with smaller bankrolls, like throwing in 0.1 to 0.3 ETH, the gas eats most of it. So, what should be the strategy there?
Yeah, I mean, for lower amounts of capital, it's definitely tough. That's where like I'm very degen, and so I'll look at coins, on the live DEX tools, and you can get in early on some tokens that do many multiple gains. I mean, if you don't have a lot to lose, it can be especially risky, but you can make insane multiples on your investment. Just the other day, MRI came out, and I saw that at a 1 million market cap. I think right now it's sitting around 40 million. So that's a 40x. So your 0.1 in MRI, if you're just scouting live pairs and following the right people on Twitter, that's 4 ETH right there. So I would be looking less for dips and more for maybe some riskier plays if I was working with less, or I would just grab some ACYC and forget about it for a few months. It's not quick flips or quick returns to hold it, but we are doing all that trading. So that's what I would say.
That's good. I'm already a big reflector on ACYC and working my way towards that 500 million mark to get whitelist for Alpha Pass. The second question is like whenever I buy, like I do the same. I do what you said, just still like put an alert and then buy at a 50% dip, and then how do we like how do you like make sure that this is not going to zero, or like we're not catching a falling knife?
Nate, you want to touch on that?
Yeah. So you just like find out what the FUD is. So for 2018, when we were going into a bear market and people were all shooken up, they'd create FUD out of nothing and FUD out of something. So if you find out that like the person who runs the project is a serial scammer, then that's FUD where like you don't buy. But if the FUD is literally nothing, it's just a bunch of whales selling, then you buy it. It's just typical charting. But personally, when I buy something that's dipped 50%, I want it to have like been on the upswing. So, I bought a dip of something that went from 7K market cap to 1.8 bill, and I bought it when it went down 50% because it literally almost went straight up. There were some dips along the way, but a bunch of people, including myself, were sitting on the sideline waiting for an entry. So you want to buy something that's been hyped up, has a bunch of enthusiasm behind it, and doesn't have real FUD, like the person who created the token is rugging it or is a scammer. So as long as the FUD isn't malicious, then buy it. And as long as it's not some random token that you've had on like your watch list that doesn't really have much hype but dipped 50% because the whale exited, then I wouldn't buy that. Make sure it has volume, make sure it has hype, and make sure the FUD is something that you can recover from.
Cool, gotcha. Thanks